and Tori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
Geek out alert. You heard of lake effect snow, but what about ocean effect snow? Well, it's a thing, and this is it in Boston today. East, west, north, south. Carl, if you live in Boston, it seems like the snow is coming from everywhere right now. Really, you cannot avoid the snow in the city of Boston.
I think this is going to goof up a lot of people's relationship with snow. I mean, that happened to me in Harrisburg back in '93. It was.
Oh,
I think we got
remember that one.
80 some inches of snow, and I was driving a little sports car at the time, and I was done with it by the end of that season. Just totally done with snow.
The kids, they're good until they find out they have to go to Saturday classes.
Right.
The adults want a restraining order from snow. They're totally over it. Everybody is game over on this.
Exactly, and now. Maybe we're looking at another big one coming, and we'll talk about that. You know, what's been setting all of this up is you've got this really amplified pattern. You've got a strong jet. This is the upper level wind. Strong jet coming across the Pacific. Then it hits this brick wall in the form of ridge and is redirected to the north and to the south. We create a split flow that way. And when you think about the jet stream, if you think of it like a jump rope, if you and I are holding a jump rope and I pull up on one side, the other side's going to go down. So that's exactly what happens with the jet and has been happening with the jet for a long time. Big ridge here, big dip here. With the big dip, we get these repeated rounds of very cold air coming into the northeast, much colder than average, and at the same time temperatures are above average over the North Atlantic Ocean, so you've got a huge contrast in temperature, and it's been like this for a really long period of time. These are the anomalies. This is the difference from what is normal, and looking at the upper level wind flow, and with that big block out there, you've got the flow going way up there into northwestern Canada, and this big trough, this very persistent trough, and a very cold winter, and of course these tremendous storms.
Yeah, huge amplification. This isn't just a little ripple out west and a slight dip to the east. This is out west. We're having record high temperatures. There's a lack of snow, you know, and then out towards the east, they're talking about polar blasts and enough snow to be done with it.
Yeah, and it never seems to want to go away. You know, what's also interesting is that the sea surface temperatures out here are very warm as compared to average, and so there's a little bit of a self-reinforcing mechanism going on out there, just like drought begets drought. The same is true with these big ridges and very warm ocean temperatures. So, you know, I don't know when this is going to break, but what we're looking at right now is this first big storm that's going to come through, and we're thinking that the first storm is likely going to be offshore enough that we get wind, but not a whole lot of snow, and then a lot of cold air. Now, we were looking at the trend yesterday, which was going to take that second storm mostly offshore. Well, that trend has been broken by this one run of the European model. We never want to hang our hats on one run, but
you don't like to see it either.
You don't like to see it. It's a very strong model, and there is a fair amount of ensemble support for the idea of this incredibly strong storm being more on the coast, which would mean heavy snow, a lot of wind, blizzard conditions potentially, and then tremendous, really dangerous cold coming in the wake of this thing. So we hope that this is an aberration and we're going to be back to that trend of more offshore, but knowing that this has happened, now that we're seeing this now, we really got to sit up and take notice of what happens going forward.
Start thinking about, am I ready for this once again? The big city decision makers will have to do that as well. Thank you so much, Carl. Dave, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Alex. And speaking of aberrations, take a look at this. This is a visible satellite picture from this morning. Clouds over eastern North Carolina, and right in the middle on the radar is that thing. Is it a thunderstorm? No. It's about 40 degrees with just stratus clouds in here. What is it? Was there an explosion and a fire? The ash goes out and there's a trail of it? We don't think so. You know what we think this was? There is a Marine Corps Air Base here. Sometimes when planes go out on practice missions, they release chaff from the plane, plastic or metal particles that can be picked up by radar that are used in combat. A radar-guided missile could go for that, whereas the plane may have diverted after shooting out chaff. Chaff on the radar. Now this.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies, high 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear, low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Subway trains are rolling again in Boston after a day-and-a-half break to clear the tracks of snow and ice.
But a surprise announcement from the person who heads Boston Transit that is on the way.
Plus, adding insult to all that snow misery, the kind of cold that has you covering your face as much as you possibly can.
Where a new round of bitterly cold temperatures is setting up and how low those wind chills will free fall as a result.
I was reading along with you.
I know, I saw
to give
that.
you some
That was
encouragement.
fun. Yeah, I liked it. Should I do it with you now?
Hey, welcome to Weather Center Live. I'm Dave Schwartz.
Hey, and I'm Alex Wilson. This is the day that things are starting to return to normal, finally, in places that have been so snow-slammed.
Such as Boston,
Absolutely.
would you think? Well, the transit system's back in business. That's moving people around. But breaking news this afternoon, the head of the Transit Authority, Dr. Beverly Scott, is stepping down. The agency's taken heat over service that the city's been hit by snowstorm after storm.
As Dr. Scott shut down the transit system on Monday, that was to give operators of the T, as the agency is called, time to clear those subway rails. Well, service resumed today, but lines developed by late morning. The chairman of the Mass DOT Board of Directors says he's stunned by the news. He'll conduct a nationwide search for Dr. Scott's replacement.
And meteorologist Paul Goodloe is feeling a little better than I think Dr. Scott was in that video. And he's along a key transit route.
But there were problems there. He gives us an update.
We started today outside of South Station here at the corners of Atlantic and Summer, talking about how the last 4 winter storms and all the snow have impacted bus and train transportation. Then we get word that a couple blocks up the street that the snow has also impacted another mode of transportation, and this one you got to see to believe.
We got a call that a vehicle was stuck and we were shoveling out an 18-wheeler a few blocks up. We didn't think it was going to be something this big and on a mound of snow this large, but we got down here and saw it, and we asked how we can help, and they asked us to start shoveling it out. We've never had to shovel out something like this, just buses and some cars and some small trucks, but never a boat.
So why is a boat here stuck on the corner of Lincoln and Summer? Well, there's a reason. There's a boat show which starts here in Boston this Saturday. So I guess that's one place you can go to think of warmer weather down the horizon. And also, by the way, Saturday, Valentine's Day, and our next chance of snow here in Boston. Reporting from the corner of Lincoln and Summer, I'm meteorologist Paul Goodloe. Back to you.
But you know, more snow could be coming to the New England area, including the city of Boston. And we're not just talking about one more round.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, this
Your
weekend.
face says it all. You're like.
This weekend could get rough.
It could.
But until then, I think we're okay. Let's get into the lab. Carl Parker's been watching this all day. New runs of the models have come in. Carl, what does it look like?
Because it's Valentine's Day. A lot of people are hoping to get out.
Right?
Yeah, you know, this is really interesting because, you know, one of the tenets of meteorology is that you don't hang your hat on one run of any model. Although we're looking at the European model, and the European model is showing us that there could be a very big storm come Sunday, and there's a fair amount of support for this amongst the ensemble members of this particular model. Now, what we want to look for is the trend, and the trend yesterday was to move both of these upcoming storms more offshore, and it still looks like that first storm is going to be more offshore. The big question is what's going to happen with the second storm. The GFS model wants to continue to take it mostly offshore, in which case we'd get some snow, but not a tremendous amount of snow. But then the European model is the model that wants to now, with this latest run, bring it a little closer to the coast, and in which case we would be talking about a tremendous impact there, especially considering what's happened in the last couple of weeks. The stakes are so high, and that's why I'm concerned about this European model run, because of all of what has happened so far. We've got to do a little bit more to prepare if we do get something like this. So we'll take a look at that in a second. First of all, here's the visible satellite picture, and there you see some snow driving into the Boston Metro. That's a little bit of ocean effect, not a real big deal. It's winding down right now. We've got a clipper coming through the lakes. This is the model forecast, and you'll see here that it blows up right as it's getting to the coast. So we know that this is going to be a very strong storm, but it's primarily going to be a strong storm for the Canadian Maritimes. We will see strong wind in the wake of that storm and a lot of cold, but it doesn't look like it's going to have a huge impact in the Northeast in those areas that have been hit so hard. Now, here's this new European model run, and again, there's a fair amount of support for these solutions in the ensemble members. Looking at Friday, there's the big storm coming up towards Nova Scotia and Halifax, and we're just on the outside edge of that storm. We're looking at the pressure there in red. Each of those lines is a pressure line, a constant pressure line, and where you see a lot of them together, that's where you know you've got a very intense area of low pressure and a very strong storm with a lot of wind and a lot of precip. So we'll be on the outside edge of that most likely on Friday, but then we see this new storm coming in Saturday night and Sunday. Now, if it were to happen just like this, and I'm not saying that it will, because we've got a ways to go yet. It's Wednesday and we're talking about Sunday, but if it were to happen like this, that would be a really huge deal. That would be a really big problem with a tremendous amount of snow, very strong wind, and also very cold air and really life-threatening conditions there across parts of the Northeast. So this is a big worry in this area. Just quickly want to show you the precip area across the region, and you see it's well inland as the European sees it. But the GFS model does not paint it that way. We've got a new run coming in right now, and we'll tell you about that coming up at the bottom of the hour. Back to you.
Thanks, Carl. Well, at least we've had some sunshine today, especially from the Mass Pike northward. South of there, just that light snow. Here's a look outside in Boston, and it is cold, my friend. Let me tell you, with all that snow on the ground, it is 17 degrees. That's one of the coldest places in the country. And that's even colder than on the top of Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Some milder air is moving in at mid-levels ahead of this next storm. Well, we're frozen. And in some places where the wind is a factor, and it's mainly near the coast, it's brutal. Albany 24, very little wind, weak high pressure sitting over the Northeast right now. But here comes a couple of shots of cold air. This is Friday night. This is another shot of colder air. Sunday into Sunday night. Monday, temperatures way below average here in Boston, and we'll just have to get used to this because this is the pattern we're in. Snow or no snow, it's cold and more cold. Alex?
And the Northeast isn't the only place that will be feeling the chill. Get ready to trade hoodies for winter coats all the way down to Florida. Find out how cold it will be and when that big chill will arrive. Plus, roofs crumble beneath the weight of all that snow. Ahead, one of our own grabs a shovel to illustrate what clearing away that snow means in terms of your heart and your muscles.
I went to Ancestry.com, but I thought, I'm not going to make it very far. I knew my parents and my grandparents, and then it happened. I got a leaf. When I clicked on it, I could actually see my grandfather's draft card from World War I and his U.S. Census from 1910, and another member's tree that had my great-grandparents and their parents and everything. And it all started with my first leaf.
Who will you discover at Ancestry.com?
Hi, this is Jennifer. I will be out of the office until Monday and won't be checking voicemail during this time. I'll reply just as soon as I get back to work.
Sail with Princess Cruises, the #1 cruise line in Alaska. Save up to $500 during our 50th anniversary sale. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Once upon a time, there was a nice house that lived with a family. One day, it started to rain. The house tried to keep out all the water, but water got inside and ruined everybody's everythings. The house thought she let the family down. They just didn't think it could happen. They told the house they would take better care of her. Always.
Protect what matters. Get flood insurance.
The Weather Channel celebrates Black History Month as only we can, telling the stories of African Americans who saw their world through weather, then changed the world for the better. This week, we sit down with Guyan Bluford, the first African American to travel into space. Black History Month on the Weather Channel. It's amazing out there.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 52, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies, high 77, winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear, low 52, winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook. So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
Americans, 83% try to eat healthy, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One-A-Day Women's, complete with key nutrients we may need, plus it supports physical energy with B vitamins. One-A-Day Women's.
This Valentine's Day weekend, you can really experience eHarmony for free. It's the first step in finding that perfect person for you. Connect for free this Thursday through Monday only.
Guess what goes really well with eggs? Pillsbury Grand's biscuits make breakfast even better. Grand's biscuits make breakfast pop.
Lowe's presents How to Make It Quiet by Being Loud.
Now get 10 to 25% off major appliances, $3.99 and more at Lowe's.
Now here's a resourceful entrepreneur. You can buy a water bottle filled with some of the historic snow that's fallen in Boston. This guy's bottling it up, but be prepared to pay for it. The cost is nearly $20. But Ship Snow Yo says they'll send that snow to anyone in the U.S. Is that $20 a bottle? $20 a bottle, or is that for the whole box? Snow fatigue is what's taken us over in New England. It's the only way to describe what Bostonians are experiencing after being hit with a succession of winter storms that have closed schools, businesses, public transportation, on and on. Well, it's got a lot of people there saying enough already. Al Roker reports some school children are even sick of snow days.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's right, 8 snow days already this winter, but school back in session for the city of Boston today.
Well, I like staying home, of course, but I actually want to go to school tomorrow.
To make up for those missed days, students will now go to school on Evacuation Day and Bunker Hill Day. School has to be dismissed for the year no later than June 30th.
If we miss one more school day, we are going to have a conversation to look at Saturdays, look at April vacation.
No snow days for the 25,000 employees at Mass General Hospital either. They've been carpooling, staying with friends nearby, even sleeping on these blow-up mattresses on the floor in the hospital, just keeping the place running.
We've actually had hospital-based sleep rooms as well, several different conference rooms. 50, as many as 100 people have stayed here at night or during the day after overnight shifts, sleeping in tough situations.
The National Guard marching in and moving out large mounds of snow with tactical dump trucks trying to clear the city of all this snow.
Snowbanks are extremely high, so visibility is cut down when people are trying to merge off of streets, going onto streets, sidewalks and things like that. So, it makes it challenging for everyone out there.
A lot of these communities are struggling with the amount of snow and the toll that it's taking on the public crews and their equipment.
We're at the end of our ropes. We've been working pretty straight through for now a good solid couple of weeks. So, our crews are tired, our equipment's tired. We're still working, we're still doing the best we can, but certainly some additional help is very welcome at this point.
A sentiment echoed by residents as well after 72.5 inches of snow in the past few weeks.
Any help will do because there's just nowhere to put it, and everybody's struggling trying to walk around, get around.
That's great. I think they need the help to get rid of the snow.
All the help that we can get by any means.
And now, get this. The school districts around Boston are running out of snow days. Boston's mayor says if they have to cancel just one more school day this winter, the city will have to hold classes on Saturdays or during spring break. Well, in Massachusetts, school districts that started this school year in mid-August have a little more flexibility over the number of snow days they can use. And another issue is the fact that under union contracts, the school year cannot go past June 30th. Let's check in with Alex. Do you think we'll need any school days in Daytona Beach?
No, I think they've been at school, but it's going to be cold for some of those bus stop pickups and drop-offs. You've got to get ready for a 10-degree temperature plunge. Right now, pretty pleasant at Daytona Beach, 59 degrees. We've got 67 in Tallahassee, mid-60s in Atlanta, also in New Orleans, upper 60s in Jackson. So feels a lot like spring out there now, but don't get used to it because it's not staying with us. Look at these lows by Friday morning, well into the 20s for most spots, even upper 20s in Pensacola. Low 30s in Jacksonville, Florida. By Saturday morning, plenty of 30s, still 20s for places like Nashville and Charlotte, but even on Sunday, another blast of cold air as those temps drop into the low and mid-20s for many, mid-teens in Nashville. Dave.
All right, thanks a lot, Alex. Well, as the cold as the South will be, snow-stricken places will be even colder. And some may be snowier too, adding to the big problem right now, roofs collapsing under its weight. More on that story next.
How do I get hotel deals nobody else gets? I know a guy. I know this guy, Coloito, and this guy who knows a guy. Hey, guy. I know a guy in New York, Vegas, Dallas. I've known some guys for decades, and some, nice to meet you. Let's deal. My competitors may know a guy, but I know over 60,000 guys. And gals.
Exclusive hotel deals up to 60% off. Priceline.com. Don't miss Founders Days at Pep Boys, where you can get great deals all week long. Like when you buy 3 select tires, you'll get the 4th one free instantly. Plus, get special financing for 6 months when you sign up for the Pep Boys Car Care One credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
I'll never look back. I will just look younger.
New Olay Total Effects with more vitamins than the leading prestige moisturizer to fight 7 signs of aging. In just 4 weeks, skin looks up to 10 years younger. From the world's #1, Olay, your best beautiful.
Watch. Nothing can stop Crizal No Glare lenses. Neither water, nor scratch, nor dirt or dust, nor smudge, nor glare of night can keep your lenses from giving you the clearest vision possible. And Crizal has ESPF 25 to protect your eyes 25 times more from the damaging rays of the sun. Crizal No Glare lenses. Live life in the clear. Ask for them at your eye care professional.
After John Huntsman was diagnosed with cancer, he founded Huntsman Cancer Institute.
To fight cancer in new and different ways.
Like combining 300 years of family histories with health records to treat, predict, and in many cases, prevent cancer. With the vital understanding that cancer moves fast.
And we have to move faster.
To learn more or support the cause, go to huntsmancancer.org.
The Weather Channel celebrates Black History Month as only we can, telling the stories of African Americans who saw their world through weather, then changed the world for the better. This week, we sit down with Guyon Bluford.
So that care spot sure is convenient.
Why should I care that care spot sure is convenient?
Look, Mom! I can fly!
No!
That care spot sure is convenient. With online and mobile access to check wait times, save your spot, and make appointments, plus extended hours and convenient locations near you, CareSpot is everyday healthcare made even easier.
Nicole Curtis is back, and this Michigan tutor just checked into rehab.
Every bit of plaster has to be redone. The roof is leaking, electrical, plumbing, flooring.
Check out Nicole and her team polish this Detroit rock back to a diamond. Watch an all-new Rehab Addict, Thursday at 9 on HGTV.
Bell's, celebrating 100 years of bringing you all the brands that are perfect for Florida. Columbia, Salt Life, Real Legends, Purvis, and more. Great brands, great selection, and great value.
Everything home, all in one place. Shop today's sales at wayfair.com.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Now here's a story with a twist. This is what one of Liberace's pianos looked like before the roof collapsed on the building housing it. Heavy snow caused part of the roof to give way in the Rockland, Massachusetts facility that stored the piano. Fortunately, no one was inside when the roof gave way. Well, clearing snow off roofs or sidewalks and driveways, that is a big physical challenge. And one of our own, Storm Tracker Jim Cantori, a guy who's built for this kind of weather, he grabbed a shovel and a special piece of monitoring equipment to show you just how much of a challenge shoveling snow can be.
We're here with Boston EMS Chief Jim Hooley to talk a little bit about, what shoveling does and can do, certainly, to not just your heart, but also your back and your leg and your knees. What do you see in terms of an increase after a snowstorm at the EMS?
Well, after a snowstorm like this, we'll typically see an increase of about 10% of our calls. And it could be minor in nature. It could be back aches. It could be a little bit of discomfort. But it also could be chest pain, shortness of breath.
All right, well, I'm going to start shoveling here. We've already taken a base rate of about 84. I'm going to just start to throw this up. I mean, Jim, this is what we were talking about earlier. It's not just throwing the snow in a little pile here. No. This stuff's crust, and you've got to heave it way up, so you're throwing your back into this.
Right, and that's just it. I mean, typically, what we'd advise you to do is to try to go, A, a little bit slower, and B...
I don't know slow.
Right. But when you're trying to throw a distance like that, and when you're twisting your body, you're more likely to strain your lower back, as opposed to be able to grab small bites, walk down over here and deposit it somewhere where you don't have to twist and throw.
Well, I mean, I got to be honest with you. Just having to throw it way up here is harder than digging it and shoveling it out.
Oh, sure it is.
I mean, this is incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like I said, typically if you could walk down there and toss it over to the side, even though it would take you longer, it might save you back some than what you're doing.
I mean, if my car was under here, this is probably a 2 to 3 hour job, given the kind of crust.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, I mean, this is all right. Let's see what my heart's doing.
Okay.
After all that, we'll get another test and see how we're doing.
Alex is going to.
Obviously, I feel safe about going at a quick rate because you guys are here.
Yeah.
And you can take me over if anything happened. But
right.
It's
about 100 now.
We went from 84 to 100?
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
No, but like I said, so that's probably within your target range. That's within a safe range for you. But again, I'm assuming you're a healthy guy who doesn't have underlying cardiac disease.
I'm eating too much clam chowder.
Yeah.
So slow it down. try not to throw your back out throwing the snow high.
Right, but if you
just realize
if you
it's
don't
going
want
to
to
take you
do
a lot
this
longer.
stress test, if you already have some underlying heart disease, some other medical condition, don't even go challenge yourself in this. Pay somebody, pay the kids, get somebody else to do it.
Jimmy,
it's not worth it.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And we've got some kids to do a little shoveling. Our friends from Big Sisters and Big Brothers in Atlanta are here, including Connor, Vladimir, Zoe is here. And they're going to have to help shovel out something you wouldn't expect you'd have to work on during a snowstorm. Here's Alex with that story.
Dave, something you might not necessarily think of, but if you have one on your property, you always need to keep it in mind. It's a fire hydrant because you don't want to find out that it's buried when you need it. So let's talk about how exactly you go about clearing out those fire hydrants. I know up into the Northeast, some of them even have the little flag like on a golf course so you can find it beneath that snow. But what you got to do is you got to clear 3 feet on each side of that hydrant. So get it clear, get it accessible. Don't pile that snow on the road. Instead, pile it off towards the sides. Get that ice off as well, because in case of emergency, they need to have access to the road and right from the road to that fire hydrant. Dave.
Thanks, Alex. Fortunately, this next storm is not a gangbuster. The snow has just started in Buffalo, and it's coming down, but there's not much of it. I'd say 1 to 4 inches across New York State, Pennsylvania, and then into New England. That would be just about it. But the next storm over the weekend, that could be the monster, depending exactly where low pressure transfers its energy offshore. If it's close enough to New England, we get pounded. If it stays off to the east, we don't. Those are some of the things that we'll be straightening out for you and filling you in on this weekend.
How long does it take to grow old? And why does it seem like no one wants to do it? Isn't growing old the same thing as living longer? Living longer is something that's on the mind of every pet parent. And what we feed them matters. At Petco, pets are our sole focus. We handpick a unique selection of food to meet our high standards. Because when we feed them better, our companions thrive. Petco.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Boston Market introduces our 2 for $20 complete meal deal. For just $20, get 2 individual meals, like our all-natural rotisserie chicken, 2 classic sides, 2 drinks, and 2 desserts. All for a limited time, only at Boston Market.
Lowe's presents How to Accidentally Invent a New Word.
This new living room is so you. It's so sophisticated. Exactly. Sophisticated.
Get Valspar Ultra Interior Paint now at a new lower price at Lowe's.
Hi, this is Connor. Sorry I missed you. I'm either away from my desk or on another call. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you just as soon as I'm available. Thank you for your patience at this busy time.
Join Princess Cruises for stargazing with Discovery at Sea. Enjoy cruises from $4.99 during our 50th anniversary sale. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Thanks for the ride around Norfolk. And I just wanted to say Geico is proud to have served the military for over 75 years.
Roger that. Captain's waiting to give you a tour of the Wisconsin now.
Could have parked a little bit closer. It's going to be dark by the time I get there.
Geico, proudly serving the military for over 75 years.
Heartburn.
Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven to taste better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
There was a time when the sea gave way to the sky, raising an amazing destination like no other. Atlantis. Book now for your last chance to receive a $250 airfare credit when you stay 4 nights. Offer ends February 17th. Atlantis.
Thrilled to have Jim Cantore on the show. He's been through like 80 tropical systems.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Watch Jim Cantori, Sam Champion, and Jennifer Delgado on AMHQ, weekday mornings at 7.
Currently in our area, 69 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
This morning, surprisingly, wasn't bad. I expected it to be a lot worse. Waited maybe 10 minutes for a train in the snow, which I wish it wasn't snowing.
We hear you. And that was early today. The situation just a few short hours later.
Yeah, lines of people you see there waiting between walls of snow for shuttle buses or subway cars. Getting around remains a challenge here in Boston after so many snow slams in a row.
And now we've got a new development because the head of the MBTA has resigned. It is 1:30 here on Weather Center Live. I'm Alex Wilson.
I'm Dave Schwartz. Good to see you. Well, one other thing we can say with certainty right now, unexpected news. The head of the MBTA, Dr. Beverly Scott, is stepping down. That's the transit authority in Metro Boston. Now, the agency's taken heat over service as the city's been hit by snowstorm after snowstorm.
Dr. Scott shut down the transit system on Monday to give operators of the T, as it's called, time to clear subway rails. Service resumed today, but lines were developing by late morning, and the chairman of the Mass DOT Board of Directors, he says he's stunned by the news. He'll conduct a nationwide search for Dr. Scott's replacement. And in terms of the way transit is operating today in Boston, there have definitely been challenges.
Yeah, as our own Keith Carson found, commuters needed their patience today.
We're here at South Station, which is a main hub here for the MBTA, or the T as locals call it here in Boston. Station right back there, there's a couple entrances and exits that go below ground. You know, in the city itself, in the downtown area where we're located, the T hasn't been a huge problem. The bigger problem has been outside of the city a little bit, down towards Quincy, which is south of town, and even out towards Medford, we've seen some problems. What's been happening is that the train has been stopping. They've been stalling out, transferring passengers onto an MBTA bus, busing them to the next point in the line where it can pick up and continue. And obviously, there's not as much capacity on the bus as there is on the train. So we're having a problem, a little hourglass effect there through the morning. That has been the issue, clearing up obviously as the rush hour winded down earlier this morning. But we're going to continue to watch what happens with the T here, because there's a lot of shots being fired back and forth between the MBTA and the governor. The governor saying, look, we were told they could deliver this, and MBTA saying the system is outdated. There's some truth to that. This is the oldest underground system in the country, and Boston certainly cannot take another storm or two. Hopefully the next two miss, because they need time to recover here. Back to you.
And, you know, there is a chance for more snow twice for parts of New England. It's a tricky forecast call to make right now, and really one that is changing every time a new model run comes out.
Yeah, the first storm looks like it's going to be more anemic, but the second one could be a bomb again. Let's get into the lab. Carl Parker's been watching this all day long, and he has the latest for us.
Dave, we're getting a new run of the GFS model right now, and it's a little more aggressive than the last one. Not quite where the Euro is, but certainly a little more aggressive than the most recent run. Now, yesterday we were talking about the fact that we're looking at a couple of strong storms, and the model trend yesterday was to push them more offshore. Well, that looks like it's still holding for the first system, so it will be a big deal for the Canadian Maritimes, just not so much for us. We'll get wind and cold and a little bit of snow out of it. The big question is what's going to happen with the second system, and the European model came in, the morning run came in this afternoon, and what it's doing is very troubling. Now, one of the tenets of meteorology is that you don't hang your hat on one run of any model, even a great model like the European model, but it is nonetheless troubling that it's showing it being so close to the coast, and so this is something that we'll really need to monitor because the stakes are a lot higher than they would be in another case. If we hadn't had really any snow in Boston so far, wouldn't be that big of a deal if we got another great big storm. But on top of everything that's happened already, it would be a very big deal. So let's begin with the RPM model. This is showing you that first clipper coming through. By the time it gets to the coast, it blows up and it becomes a huge storm there in Nova Scotia. Beautiful Halifax getting hit very hard with snow and wind. But again, a negligible impact here in the U.S. It's mostly going to be about wind. This is looking at the pressure fields. These are lines of equal pressure where you see a lot of them like a dartboard, like a crazy dartboard. That's a really strong area of low pressure, and you see how the western edge of the system is affecting New England, but really not much more than that. Now, we take this out. This is the European model. This is the morning run that I was telling you about. And this is what is so troubling. This is this new run that's showing the business end of this storm, the main part of the storm, with the heavy mesoscale snow banding, with a lot of wind coming right over New England on Sunday morning. Now, again, this is just one run. The European was not doing this in its previous run. There is ensemble support for this idea, but what's really critical is to see where we go from here. Do the models begin to converge on this idea, or is it sort of a one-off? Is it an aberration? There you see the precip well over New England, so the European model showing higher amounts there from Boston and on northward and along 95, whereas the GFS model is showing a solution that's a little farther offshore and somehow as what the European model is showing. So again, this is going to warrant careful monitoring over the next several days as we get closer to this event. Alex, back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Carl. And cold, another huge story with places reaching the single digits for highs. That's it by this weekend. Minneapolis, you're one of those. Today, not much warmer. You're in the mid-teens. Let's talk temperatures. Right now, we are holding in the teens for Mason City and Minneapolis, 4 degrees in Fargo. It's 31 in Chicago, mid and upper 20s for Davenport, Madison, and Green Bay. But you have to factor in the wind because the feels like temperature is much colder. It feels like 20 in Chicago, feels like -1 in Mason City, feels like -19 in Fargo, 1 measly degree in Minneapolis. And that's your high, or was predicted to be your high Saturday. Now we bumped it up to 3. So there's something for you. But the average high this time of year is 28. You're near it Friday, actually a mark above it, but Saturday and Sunday are going to be bitterly cold. Here's tomorrow's highs across the area, 20+ degrees below average for Chicago, Detroit, and Gaylord, Michigan. Gaylord only a high of 2. Friday, a little relief, still well below average, but another shot of cold air moves in on Saturday with, again, those well below average temperatures headed your way. Dave.
So it looks like the same old here. Here's a look back at what's happened so far in Boston, why people are so frazzled up in that part of the country. So far here in Boston, we've had 78 inches of snow. That's 4 inches taller than I am. And most of that has come in the last week and a half. So we've been hit really hard. Hours plowed by the Boston Street Department, 135,000. And you better believe there's a lot of overtime in there. What an effort to just keep things moving here. Mother Nature's not helping. It hasn't been above freezing since I don't know when. Boston snow stats, miles plowed. You could drive to the moon. And that's how much mileage has been plowed so far. Huh? That's a lot of money to have to spend with tax money. Amount of salt, 70,000 tons. And now this is video, another way to put the snow in perspective. Boston is on the left, Anchorage is on the right. Snow piles in Boston taller than some of these people. Huh? And in Alaska, we see some brown ground. Boston, 17 degrees. Anchorage, 32. Alex, back to you.
Thanks, Dave. And after seeing all that snow, there's got to be a question on your mind. Where can I go to get a little sunshine and warmth? We're going to tell you the one place in this country where you can find both and how long that area will be your best bet to escape the snow.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
So you think all auto glass companies are the same? Well, they're not. When your windshield needs to be replaced, nobody makes it as worry-free as Safelite. First, Safelite emails a photo of the technician, so you know who to expect and how soon.
Right on time.
Safelite's one-of-a-kind True Seal technology places a new glass in perfect position for a strong, reliable bond you can trust.
Oh, that looks great.
You're all set.
Thank you so much.
Schedule now to get the Safelite Advantage.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Lowe's presents How to Make It Quiet by Being Loud.
Now get 10 to 25% off major appliances, $3.99 and more at Lowe's.
Everything in separate bins, people. Computers, shoes. You can't put two in one.
At Intel, they make technology that lets a device be a laptop and a tablet. So you can put two in one.
No, you can't.
Can.
Can't.
Can.
Intel. This is where it all changes.
See, it's like two things in one. You're like a mermaid or one of those horse guy people.
You mean like a centaur?
See, you can.
Hey, buddy, you're squashing me. Liquid wart remover could take weeks to treat.
Embarrassing wart? Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away wipes them out fast with as few as one treatment.
Freeze Away!
Dr. Scholl's, the #1 selling freeze brand.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any income or credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
Call it another danger of all of that snow in Boston. A passerby helped save the life of a boy who fell into the Fort Point Channel yesterday afternoon. Officials say the boy was playing with friends on a snowbank. He slipped through the ice after sliding down an embankment. A man walking by called 911 and managed to rescue the boy. He was taken to the hospital and checked out before he was released. You know, another big challenge of all this snow, you can get sick of it when you're stuck in the house for days on end. Doctors actually call it snow fatigue. Dr. Andy Ulrich is the Vice Chair of Emergency Medicine at Boston Medical Center, and he joins us on the phone right now. Can you start by telling us exactly what is snow fatigue?
I think it's exactly what people would expect it to be. I think we're all just really tired of this stuff.
And what kind of added stress does this cause people? What does it change in their lifestyle that just makes it so much more difficult and thus miserable?
So as I speak to you, I'm sitting in my car trying to make a 2-mile trip, which usually takes about 10 minutes. Today it takes about 50 minutes. And I think that's a good example. I think everything just becomes that much more complicated. Everything becomes more difficult to do. Everything takes more time. And I think people are just sort of at the end of their rope. And they just, enough is enough already.
And you mentioned what should be a short trip for you is now taking a long time. What is it like trying to get around Boston? Are there delays on roads and mass transit?
So on a good day, getting around Boston is not easy. On a day like today, it's very difficult. A lot of the streets are narrowed down where there's supposed to be 2 to 3 lanes. They're down to 1. Mass transit, the system has been under a real burden, and they've done their best to keep it functioning. And although it's not at 100% schedule, it's a lot better today than it was yesterday or the day before. So we as a city are really struggling with our infrastructure today, and I think it's really starting to wear on people because life is just a lot more complicated when you're negotiating not just the crowd but also the 6-foot snowbank.
Absolutely. And, some people have decided to not leave the house. They're trapped with their loved ones, parents with kids. How can you cope? How can you combat that cabin fever?
I think that's a real problem. I think people who are stuck inside and really haven't gotten a chance to get out are feeling it as well as those of us who are out trying to get in. I think simply going outside might help a lot. Certainly if you can open the door and walk out and take a breath of fresh air and look up in today's beautiful blue sky helps. Getting out and doing something and changing the monotony and the routine a little bit. Go for a walk if it's safe, if it's cleared. Just getting out of away from the 4 walls of the house will make a big difference.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Andy Ulrich. We appreciate you joining us, and good luck in your travels.
And if you're suffering from snow fatigue, take a deep breath and have a look at this picture. Huh? Isn't that beautiful? That is downtown San Diego, where the temperature is 1 degree off the all-time record for the date, 82. And we'll be in the low 80s the next couple of days, warm through the weekend, but then a cool wind comes in from southeastern California on Tuesday. So enjoy it. It's 82, northern suburbs, Santee, 86. One of the hot spots in the country, and the West has been warm for as long as the East and Midwest have been cold. So while they're freezing their pupiks off, here in the West, it's shirt sleeve weather, and not just San Diego or Phoenix. How about Salt Lake City and Denver near 60. Portland, these will all be near record highs all the way into the weekend. But we got to get back to the potential for another snowstorm, and we will next.
Eligible for Medicare, that's a good thing, but it doesn't cover everything. Only about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. So consider an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement insurance plans, they could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Call today to request a free decision guide. With these types of plans, you'll be able to visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Plus, there are no networks and virtually no referrals needed. Join the millions who have already enrolled in the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP and provided by United Healthcare Insurance Company, which has over 30 years of experience behind it. With all the good years ahead, look for the experience and commitment to go the distance with you. Call now to request your free decision guide.
Atlantic Beach Sports.
Oh, love it.
Houma, Louisiana.
Oh, fantastic food. Carefree, Arkansas.
Been there.
Louisville, Texas.
Done that. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Phil and I go way back. Love that little animal.
Weekday mornings, Jim Cantori, Sam Champion, and Jennifer Delgado on AMHQ, starting at 7.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here, and that's just Sam.
Weekday mornings at 7, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Our little leaf that helps guide you through the past. Simply type in a name and you're taken on a journey. A journey that crosses generations and continents. All to tell the most amazing story. Yours. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
This Valentine's Day weekend, you can really experience eHarmony for free. It's the first step in finding that perfect person for you. Connect for free this Thursday through Monday only.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this.
Danger. Warning.
You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
Danger.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Hi, you've reached Emma. I'm out of the office right now, but we'll get back to you just as soon as I possibly can. Your call is important to me. Join Princess Cruises for exclusive Discovery at Sea experiences. Enjoy cruises from $4.99 during our 50th anniversary sale. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Toenail fungus? Don't hide it. Tackle it with new FDA-approved Jublia. Jublia is a prescription medicine proven to treat toenail fungus. Use Jublia as instructed by your doctor. Once applied, Jublia gets to the site of infection by going under, around, and through the nail. Most common side effects include ingrown toenail, application site redness.
not you again. I told you we're happy with Xfinity. Uverse doesn't even deliver the internet speeds they promise.
You sign up right now. I'll throw in this clipboard.
Look, with Xfinity, our internet stays super fast no matter how many HD movies we're watching.
I'll throw in this lawnmower.
That's my lawnmower.
I'll throw in a hug.
What are you two doing?
Woodworking.
Don't get Youped by Uverse. Stay super fast no matter what you're doing with Xfinity from Comcast.
If you're not happy with how your allergy medicine treats your congestion, rethink relief with Nasacort Allergy 24-Hour. Unlike antihistamines that target only one cause of your symptoms, Nasacort stops more, relieving the worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. It's non-addictive and has no harsh taste, and unlike Flonase, it's scent and alcohol-free. And it's available over-the-counter at full prescription strength. Rethink your relief with Nasacort. It stops more of what makes you miserable.
In the box. Or call toll-free 1-800-FRESHEST and mention TV. Go online now.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Geek out alert. You've heard of lake effect snow, but what about ocean effect snow? This is it. It's from Boston today, so it's been coming from the east, west, north, south. Boston seeing a ton of it. And our own Keith Carson got to see it as well because he has a picture of what that ocean effect band looks like from the air. You can see the clear air up towards the top of the screen and then those clouds forming where that snow was falling from. He took it in the last hour, sent it to us so we could share it with you. And I'm out in the lab now with storm specialist Carl Parker because it doesn't look like that ocean effect snow is the end for Boston.
No, and you know how snow is so beautiful when it first comes down?
Yes.
It's quiet and it's lovely. I would think that people are beginning to hate snow.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, we're looking at possibly another storm coming into the very same area and causing even more problems.
I think once the kids heard Saturday school a possibility, they went,
yeah.
I don't think I like snow as much as I did before.
Right, or extending into the summer, that kind of thing. And we're going to talk about how we're getting this persistent pattern. So you've got the jet stream, and this is representing the jet stream winds. You've got the jet stream coming across the Pacific Ocean, and then it runs into this brick wall, this persistent ridge or high pressure in the atmosphere, and is forced to the north and to the south. That's called a split flow. And this has been incredibly persistent. And with this split flow, as we mentioned before, it's very much like a jump rope. If I pull on one side, lift up on one side, the other side is going to go down. And that's exactly what has happened here across the eastern part of the U.S. Now, this has been going on for a very long time. These are the anomalous or different from usual winds there across the northwestern part of North America. And there you see since November 1st, we've had this unusually strong wind there that's been redirecting the flow and the storms right up into Alaska. Then you have this big ridge and a huge area of sinking air, which means clear sky, no precipitation. We can't get anything to come into California.
They've seen heat, no snow, no rain, or very little rain.
Yes, those things are completely linked to one another. And then concordantly, you've got this big dip across the Midwest and Northeast. And with this unusually cold air coming straight down from northern Canada, and then the relatively warm air of the Atlantic, you've got a real big contrast in temperature, and that makes storms want to take off. They really
that
get
zone
going.
is really where we've been seeing that happen, and we've been seeing these storms take off one after another for the past few weeks.
Absolutely we have. So we had a little bit of ocean effect today, a quick look at that just a second ago. Then we've got a clipper coming through. This one is going to blow up right as it's moving away, so it doesn't look like this is going to do much more than bring us some wind. And this is another representation of that. So we're looking at the low pressure in the atmosphere. Each one of these lines is a line of equal pressure. And so when we've got a whole lot of them like that, when it looks like a crazy dartboard, you know, you've got a really intense area of low pressure, which is exactly what we'll see south of Nova Scotia on Friday morning. We're on the western edge of that, so near miss.
Right, it may
essentially.
not get the precip, but with a strong system like that, you're likely to get in on those winds.
Absolutely. We will get a good bit of wind as that comes by, especially in the coastal areas. But then the European model comes in this afternoon. After yesterday, we were looking at this trend where it wanted to be more offshore, and we're all going, yes, let's keep it offshore.
Yes, please.
Right.
And everyone in Boston's going, yeah, hallelujah.
And then here the European model comes in, and European model is now showing this direct hit, basically. Now, the GFS is not quite on board with this. GFS is showing some snow, but not like that.
Right.
This would be a huge deal if that were to happen.
This would be a huge deal. Now the time to think about that possibility, as you've said, and prepare for what you do if you had another one of these storms. Thank you so much, Carl. Dave, back to you.
Now here's a story for you, my friend. This is a map of central Texas. This is the radar site for Fort Hood, Killeen, and Granger, Texas. Now, it was due for an upgrade this week, but something unusual stopped it from happening. A rattlesnake. That's right. A big old rattler stopped the radar upgrade this week. A technician turned up at the National Weather Service office to make the upgrade yesterday morning, but he found the snake laying in the computer gear. So the upgrade had to wait until Animal Control got there and got rid of the snake. Only in Texas, huh? Well, next on Weather Center, Kim Cunningham and Alex Wallace take the reins, and they're tracking travel headaches due to the snow. Stay with us.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, just when you think it's done, the flakes flew again in Massachusetts today, courtesy of ocean effect snow. The half-inch you picked up today now has you experiencing the second snowiest February on record right here in Boston. And one step forward, one step back for the city. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Kim Cunningham.
And I'm Alex Wallace. We are looking at more snow in the forecast for New England. We'll have specific details on that in just a minute.
Well, the Boston area is finally getting back on its feet after back-to-back historic snowstorms. Today brought a big announcement. Let's get you caught up on what's happening right now.
Yeah, the snow from Winter Storm Marcus on top of what was left behind by Linus and Juno caused the roofs of several Massachusetts buildings to collapse, caving under the weight. Schools across the area, they actually reopened. And Boston's Mayor Marty says that the city may actually have to reconsider classes on Saturdays if they cancel another day. So far, the city's unprecedented 6 feet of snow has canceled 8 school days, and after shutting down, Boston's public transit agency is back and running, though delayed. The big headline of the day, though, the sudden resignation of MBTA General Manager Beverly Scott. Her agency actually came under fire for the service problems passengers experienced earlier this week. Thousands were stranded due to on-again and off-again service during Winter Storm Marcus on Monday night through Tuesday.
And our Paul Goodloe was in downtown Boston today, catching up with commuters who were impacted. Paul?
Well, Boston is still trying to come back to normal. I'm sitting outside of South Station where you have Amtrak, you have the subway, you have bus lines all coming in here. But because of all the snow on the track, the schedules are all reduced. Some trains canceled, some trains delayed. But overall, this hasn't been a huge inconvenience to people trying to get into town and get to work. I talked to Shannon Lane earlier, and she usually takes the train. Didn't happen this morning. How did you get to work today?
I actually drove because my train was canceled.
So how long was the drive?
Probably about an hour.
Are you sick and tired of all this snow?
I am. As much as it's pretty and it's nice to look at, it's definitely becoming a pain. And
have you ever seen this much snow before?
Not at once. I don't believe so.
People are definitely tired of winter and all this snow, but it wasn't just the buses and trains that were impacted. Logan, back up to almost a normal schedule. We also found another mode of transportation impacted by all this snow. A boat stuck in the snow. Again, they're trying to get that boat to a boat show nearby, but a lot of things being impacted by this record-setting winter so far of 2015 here in Boston. Reporting on the corner of Atlantic and Summer in downtown Boston, I'm meteorologist Paul Goodlow. Back to you.
And we all know the one thing you don't want to hear in the Boston area is more snow coming your way. And we're going to see a little bit. We got another clipper coming in, but this one is going to move by pretty quickly. It's not really going to affect us much with anything, maybe some wind, and that's about it. But we're going to watch this storm move across the northern Ohio Valley. Already bringing some snow here to, looks like southern Michigan, all the way over here towards Buffalo and into Rochester. Some snow coming in as well. So this clipper moving through, and we're seeing some light snow with it. We're going to zoom in here. Syracuse about to get hit with some snow as well. But overall, it's light, it's moving, and we could pick maybe an inch or two from this. So this will move by. This is the clipper. This low is going to weaken. We'll get another area of low pressure developing off the coast, but it's pretty far out from the coast. So this one's really not going to impact us like the other ones have before, where they're closer to the coast. You really start to get all that moisture wrapping in. We'll see some of it. We're not saying you're not going to get anything in Portland, Boston, or Hartford, but it's going to be limited. There's going to be a little bit of it. So here's our forecast, expecting snow on Friday, or Thursday to Friday, but then Saturday, possibly another one coming in. Carl's going to talk more about this one with the snow and the wind, and this one may be the one to impact, especially here in the northern New England. GFS backing off a little bit on this, but we'll keep an eye on this one for sure. Alex?
All right, Kim, well, that's just the first snowmaker for this week. The weekend, another clipper could hit the Northeast, possibly bringing another foot of snow for Boston. So for that, we want to head to Carl Parker, who is in the lab. Carl?
Alex, one of the tenets of meteorology is that you don't want to hang your hat on one model run, but we are talking about the European model, which generally is regarded as the very best model in the model world when you talk about performance. And what this model has done is it's backed away from the idea of moving this storm more offshore and now is showing a solution that is more onshore. And given the import of the situation, what has happened there in Boston in the last couple of weeks, this would be a very, very big deal. So we do have to discuss it as a matter of risk management. We can hope that the trend goes back towards more offshore, but let's talk about what this European model is showing right now. And here is the first storm that Kim was talking about. Very strong area of low pressure that is offshore, is having a more direct impact there in Nova Scotia and Halifax. We're getting some wind out of that. But then the second system develops, and this is the new run of the European model. Now, with a more westward solution here, we're seeing that the business end of this storm, the worst part of this storm with very heavy snow and a lot of wind, is centered there right over the eastern part of New England come Sunday morning. Now, it doesn't mean that this is necessarily going to happen. We're just telling you that this has happened in the modeling, and so we're seeing some back and forth in the modeling, and we really need to pay very close attention to what the models do going forward, because again, you've got such a serious situation there now, and if we got a storm like this on top of all of what has happened, it really would be devastating. Think about the amount of weight of snow on the roofs up there. Think about how difficult it would be for emergency services to get around, because it would not only be heavy snow there, it would be wind and possibly even blizzard conditions. And I can tell you that there is ensemble support for this. When we take all of the European models, the family of models under the umbrella of the European model, they change it a little bit to account for errors in the initial conditions, rerun it, and when you add them all together and you take the average of those, we're showing something very similar in that mean. So there is support for this in this last run of the European model. But again, the really important thing is going to be what happens going forward. So let's take a look at what the European model is printing out. And what it's showing us here is pretty heavy snow there in eastern parts of New England. The GFS model has got a solution that is a little weaker and a little more offshore, and so not as much in the way of heavy snow, but some snow nonetheless. So we've got a lot to watch here in the coming days. Alex, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Carl. We know the relentless cold's not going to go away in the upper Midwest.
That's right. We're talking negative temperatures in the Twin Cities tonight and highs in the single digits later this week after you look on the 8s. We'll talk about that.
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Americans. 57% of us try to exercise regularly. 83% try to eat healthy.
Yet up to 90% of us fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more together. Add one a day, complete with key nutrients we may need. Plus, for women, physical energy support with B vitamins. And for men, it helps support healthy blood pressure with vitamin D and magnesium. Take one a day multivitamins.
When you set out to find new roads, you obsess over perfection. Evolve function, elevate form, and create the highest quality mid-size sedan. Chevrolet, the most awarded car company of 2014. Now during the Chevy President's Day sale, current GM owners can choose an eligible Cruze and stock the longest and get $3,500 total cash allowance. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Hi, this is Jennifer. I will be out of the office until Monday and won't be checking voicemail during this time. I'll reply just as soon as I get back to work.
Sail with Princess Cruises, the #1 cruise line in Alaska. Save up to $500 during our 50th anniversary sale. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
We build weather inventions.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked?
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
Currently in our area, 68 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
Lowe's presents How to Make It Quiet by Being Loud.
Now get 10 to 25% off major appliances, $3.99 and more at Lowe's.
At Intel, they have technology that lets your face be your password. Oh, that is one secure password.
Intel. This is where it all changes.
How do you make cancer a thing of the past? Well, you use the past. Huntsman Cancer Institute has combined 300 years of family histories with health records to discover inherited genes for melanoma, breast, colon, and ovarian cancers, so we can predict and treat cancer, and sometimes even prevent it from happening in the first place. To learn more or support the cause, go to huntsmancancer.org.
Well, the cold is not going away in the Twin Cities. The folks bundled up with highs in the teens today. The low overnight tonight, 3 below zero. And then tomorrow, the high reaches just 15 degrees. Then we get a slight warm up to about 28 for Friday. Yeah, we're going to be talking about very, very cold numbers. Saturday, 4 degrees. So get ready. It's here and here to stay. Let's talk about this relentless cold that is impacting us. Bitter cold to deal with. And it's not just the Midwest. We're going to feel it in the Northeast as well as parts of the South. So here we are right now, 17 in Boston, 13 in Minneapolis. You head into the southern tier. That's where we're enjoying 50s and 60s. 59 in Little Rock right now, 61 in the ATL. But look what happens as we head through the week and into the weekend. This is by Sunday, potentially dealing with a storm system here in New England. Unfortunately, they're getting stronger. Meanwhile, high pressure building into parts of the Great Lakes Midwest region. It's between the two that we'll see those winds really start to howl. So with cold plus windy conditions, this is what it's going to be feeling like in some of these areas. 26 degrees, and there's a little minus sign there. 26 degrees below zero is what it'll feel like in Burlington. 28 below zero in Syracuse, with D.C. feeling like it's 1 degree below zero. Farther south, also sub-zero readings here in terms of feel-like numbers. Asheville dealing with that. It'll feel like it's 8 in the ATL, so no longer Hotlanta there. High temperatures on Friday. Most areas below average with the general 40s. Then there'll be a slight warm-up on Saturday. Enjoy that 58 degrees there in Memphis, because you're going to come crashing down by Sunday. 35 degrees now for your high temperature there by the end of the weekend. ATL, here's how you'll fare. Looking for, again, that warm up into the mid-50s on Saturday, but crashing down to 39 degrees. Morning temperatures here as we head through the weekend will be in the 20s. So very cold air mass settling up across the eastern third of the country. Kim?
Sure was looking good, though, in Florida. Gorgeous skies over Cape Canaveral today. SpaceX launching just minutes ago. An observatory inspired by former Vice President Al Gore toward a solar storm lookout point a million miles away. The Falcon rocket blasting us off successfully. The company's third try to launch the Deep Space Climate Observatory for NASA, NOAA, and the Air Force. So looking good across the Sunshine State today. What about the next 7 days? I know a lot of you are probably booking flights after what Alex just talked about for Florida, but we will see the cool air coming southward as well. The story over the next 7 days will be the Northeast, of course, with the potential for more snow over the weekend, but also the Ohio Valley, who hasn't seen much snow. We could be looking at a snowstorm setting up for you, and even rain for the south. So right now, tomorrow, looking at the snow potential across the Northeast with the first clipper. That moves by. We're not going to get much from this one. And then we're left with the bitterly cold air, as Alex talked about, in Boston and New York City. Atlanta, only 46. We'll see those 60s here in Texas. Nice and warm, right? Well, we do have an area of low pressure, an upper level low in the southwest, so eventually it will start to be moving east. But at least on Saturday, very quiet conditions for the western half of the country. We're seeing that clipper. The next one coming in, this is the one we have to watch. What will it do over the weekend? Valentine's Day, a lot of plans. Maybe in New England for Valentine's Day. Well, we'll keep an eye on this one. Okay, computer models are not totally agreeing on this scenario. But just know, if the European's right, we're going to see a lot of snow and maybe blizzard conditions. But if the GFS is correct, we'll get some snow, but maybe not as much here in New England. So that's Sunday's forecast. But you saw that in Texas, right? Some rain coming in. That's an upper level low that's been sitting in the southwest. That starts to come out, starting to get a trough now, deepening over the whole United States. We're going to see rain and snow and a mix for parts of the Midwest through the Ohio Valley. This area, which is 7 inches behind here in Cincinnati, we could see the GFS computer model saying maybe up to 10 inches of snow here, some areas. So this is an area to watch next week as we watch this storm. We'll warm up ahead of it in Atlanta, but drop back down. Then it's an East Coast storm. Alex?
Staying active. Well, much more here on Weather Center Live as Boston continues to dig out from underneath all that snow. The fire departments from across the region are asking for help by digging up the snow around the fire hydrants. We'll show you exactly what you need to do.
Okay, ladies, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Thank you. I got this. Oh, no, I'll get it. Let me get it. I don't want you to pay for this. It's not happening, honey.
Let her get it. She got her safe driving bonus check from Allstate last week, and it's her treat.
What about a tip?
Oh, here's one. Get an Allstate agent.
Nice.
Switch today and get 2 safe driving bonus checks a year for driving safely, only from Allstate. Call 866-788-0900 now.
Here we go. Hold on, man. Is that a leak up there? That's a drip.
Okay.
Now that's a leak.
That is a leak.
And if you don't have Allstate Renters Insurance, game over.
Protect your valuables from things like water damage for as low as $4 a month when you add renter's insurance to your Allstate auto policy. Call 866-788-0900 now. And if you're a safe driver, you can save up to 45%.
Just a few more ways Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Call an Allstate agent and get a quote now.
So you think all auto glass companies are the same? Well, they're not. When your windshield needs to be replaced, nobody makes it as worry-free as Safelite. First, Safelite emails a photo of the technician, so you know who to expect and how soon.
Right on time.
Safelite's one-of-a-kind TrueSeal technology places a new glass in perfect position for a strong, reliable bond you can trust.
Oh, that looks great.
You're all set.
Thank you so much.
Schedule now to get the Safelite Advantage.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
So you're saying you're gonna give me my credit score for free, right? And then you're gonna ask me for my credit card so you can charge me on the down low. 2 weeks later, look, Credit Karma.
Oh, are you talking to websites again?
It's saying free credit score.
Credit Karma? Yeah, it's actually free. Look, you don't have to put in your credit card information. Credit Karma. Really free credit scores. Really free.
Fist bump.
Build weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked?
It was hard to...
Think you have the fastest internet? Think again. This is Xfinity. This is your current internet provider.
Which do you think is going to download faster?
I'm going to go with what I know.
Ready?
Yes.
Download.
Well,
Xfinity is way faster.
That's not even fair.
And we're done. I'm going to go.
We may have to switch to Xfinity.
Get even more of the speed you need with Xfinity Internet from Comcast. Upgrade to get speeds up to 50 megabits per second for just $10 more a month for 12 months. See for yourself. Call or go online today.
Start saving at the Sears President's Day Mattress Spectacular. Get up to 60% off plus 10% off, plus an extra 5% off, or up to 60 months special financing, and free delivery and assembly. Start your mattress search at Sears.
How strong is Allegra D?
My congestion's finally gone strong.
Allegra D, a fast, non-drowsy antihistamine plus a powerful decongestant that starts relieving your toughest symptoms in just 1 hour.
It's breathing free for 24 hours strong.
Allegra D, guaranteed or your money back.
Now is a good time to start thinking about how you want things to be.
Go long.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, the city of Boston is asking everyone to help dig out the thousands of fire hydrants that are buried under the snow. Now, these are pictures from local fire departments across the region as crews took to the streets today to clear the areas around the hydrants. The state also sending out 500 Massachusetts National Guardsmen to help clear things out. But what exactly is cleared? Well, Alex is in the lab to explain. Alex?
Yeah, that's right, Kim. You know, there are actually some specific requirements to ensure emergency officials can actually access those hydrants. Of course, we've just seen a ton of snow across portions of the Northeast as of late. Could see even more. All that snow is out there, plus the snow that gets plowed, that ends up covering some of those fire hydrants. So what you need to do is actually clear the area around the hydrant, and it needs to be a 3-foot area on either side of the fire hydrant. Now, when you're clearing it and trying to shovel it out, well, you want to make sure you're piling up that snow sort of on the sides, not putting it back out into the street. You actually want to end up making the street a little bit of a clear area to the street, so of course the firefighters can get to it there. So that's the thing that you want to make sure you're doing. And one thing that you can avoid when you do clear that path is a fine. In some areas, we're talking about $75 a fine out there. So to avoid it, clear the fire hydrant. Plus, of course, can you imagine, God forbid, something happening and the firefighters needed that hydrant and you didn't clear it? that would not be something that you would want on your conscience. So clear the fire hydrant, something we don't think a lot about, but needs to be done. Kim, we'll send it back to you.
All right, so true, Alex. Thanks so much. And you know, kids in Boston, well, they went back to school today, but now the schools are trying to figure out how to make up all that missed time. 8 snow days so far. NECN's Jeff Saperstone has more.
It's back to school for kids in Boston.
Are you excited to get back to school?
Yeah.
Buses made their drop-offs at Blackstone Elementary in the South End, but students still had to navigate around lots of snow and slush. It was not easy getting here this morning.
It was kind of rough, and we missed our bus.
That bus was early, so Cheryl Barrows had to walk her grandson to school between the massive snowbanks and icy sidewalks.
Another day should have been called today to get the streets, the sidewalks cleared.
Already, Boston Public School kids have missed 2 days of school this week, 8 days so far this year. Because of that, Mayor Marty Walsh says school will be in session on Evacuation Day, March 17th, and Bunker Hill Day, June 17th. The city trying to remove huge snowbanks from street corners, but this South End parent says the side streets are still challenging.
But the sidewalks are still hit or miss. Depends on the property owner, I think.
I hope everything's all right, because I mean, these snowbanks over here, a little too high. Can't see no kids crossing the streets.
Parents say they were extra careful this morning. Meantime, some kids say they are just ready to get back to school.
It's kind of fun with all the snow, but when there's too much snow, they like cut away spring break.
Well, you haven't been able to catch a break in New England, have you, between the plows and the shovels and the snow blowers, where Paul Goodloe was out there lending a helping hand. But is there more of this in your future with a weekend storm on the way? Details are straight ahead. Let's check in on Minneapolis, where we are behind as far as snowfall is concerned. Right now it's cold, temperatures in the teens, brisk northwesterly wind right now, and there's some snow on the ground. But again, we are actually hurting for snow. All the snow is in the northeast, and actually I've heard reports like in Green Bay, you can actually see the grass in Green Bay. So we'll have more on this, and is there a potential for more snow in Minneapolis? That'll be coming up later in the hour.
Looks like 20 feet.
At Intel, they have this technology. You can take a picture and measure the distance before you jump.
Intel, this is where it all changes.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do.
This was a good idea. Shh, I'm being quiet. Breathing on me.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Hi, this is Connor. Sorry I missed you. I'm either away from my desk or on another call. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you just as soon as I'm available. Thank you for your patience at this busy time.
Join Princess Cruises for stargazing with Discovery at Sea. Enjoy cruises from $4.99 during our 50th anniversary sale. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Lowe's presents How to Accidentally Invent a New Word.
This new living room is so you. It's so sophisticated. Exactly. Sophisticated.
Get Valspar Ultra Interior Paint now at a new lower price at Lowe's.
I've always seen No-No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it's definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No-No from Radiancy, the #1 hair removal system in the world.
It's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
No-No gives you no hair with no pain.
Well, I saw it on TV and they said it was painless, right? I didn't really believe it, but now that I'm trying it, it feels completely painless.
And now, No-No is better than ever. Introducing the new No-No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave. Absolutely. And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
No more facial hair.
No more embarrassment.
I've always been self-conscious of my hairline, so putting my hair back, this will be perfect for me.
And for that man in your life, there's No-No for him too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now and we'll send you the cordless No-No Pro in your choice of colors. Featuring an LCD display, it comes with up to 5 treatment levels. Plus, we'll include everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. A set of Thermicon tips, specially designed for your face and body. A buffer pad to exfoliate and polish your skin. Plus, act now and we'll send you the No-No travel case as a free gift. And get this, you can try No-No risk-free for not 30 days, but 60 days with our triple guarantee. If you are not 100% satisfied, return it and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No-No risk-free today.
I need to get myself one of these right now.
Absolutely.
For your 60-day trial, go to nonopro.com or call 1-800-955-2390. That's 1-800-955-2390.
Weather invention. Wow. Anybody else surprised it actually worked?
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
Currently in our area, 66 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
All right, more snow ahead for New England? Question mark? While still fighting to clear the roads and transit lines, the city of Boston could be in line for another foot of snow by the end of the week.
Yeah, this after getting 2 feet of snow earlier this week from Winter Storm Marcus and over 6 feet of snow for the season. So, as you can imagine, today's ocean effect snow for the hub did not please the residents of Boston. Get this, in February, the city has seen over 41 inches of snow. That's the second snowiest February on record, and it's only the 11th of the month. Now, Boston needs just 0.3 of an inch to tie the monthly record. Well, let's find out if we're going to see any more with Kim.
Oh, well, we've got this first clipper to deal with, and this one, though, is not going to be a big deal. This one we're pretty sure is going to come through, bring us a little bit of snow, but I guess any snow is just insult to injury here in New England. But right now you could see, it's very disorganized, just a lot of light snow out ahead of this. Now coming through Buffalo into the Syracuse area, through central PA as well. Maybe a little heavier bands coming through here in northern lower Michigan, right there along Interstate 75. You could hit maybe pockets of moderate snowfall there. So the front, this is it. It moves through. Arctic air comes in behind this, but an area of low pressure develops offshore, or actually this low will weaken, and then we'll transfer energy down here. We'll get an area of low pressure develop along the front. And this is the one this is what's been happening with all of these clippers. Another area of low pressure develops or gets stronger right off the coast. This one pretty far away, so we're not going to see a lot of impacts here along the coast. So at least through Friday, maybe a little bit of light snow into Boston and into Hartford as well, into Portland too. So here's tonight's forecast. Snow into western New York. Tomorrow, it's going to be most of New York gets a chance of some light snow. New York City might see a little bit as well. Boston expects some snow in Portland and windy as well with this system, but we're not talking about feet of snow with this. So that's the good news. Maybe an inch or so around the Boston area. Portland and Providence, we'll see maybe an inch or two. Portland maybe a little bit more. And then western New York seeing maybe 3 inches or so or 4 inches. and that's it. So typically with these clippers, you don't see a lot. If they develop closer to the coast, you get some big snow out of it, but we're not seeing it with this one. So Thursday, snow showers coming in Thursday night. Here comes the wind and the cold Arctic air. Well, I didn't have to say cold with that, did I? But 9 degrees, that's it for your overnight low. It's going to be cold. Alex?
Oh, my goodness. Well, it is going to feel like deja vu in New England this weekend. Another storm is following on the heels of all the others, setting its sights on Boston. Now, there's still some mystery in the models with a few possibilities. But let's get the expert analysis now on how this could all play out. Storm specialist Carl Parker, he's in the lab.
Alex, it is not at all unusual to see models do what we call windshield wipering, going back and forth with the tracks of storms. And yesterday we talked about the trend taking both of these big storms more offshore, and we talked about hoping that that trend would hold. Well, it looks like it is holding for the first storm, but the trend is not holding for the second storm with one particular model, and that model happens to be a very good model, and we're talking about the European. So let's begin with a look at the pressure, and what we've got here are these individual lines of equal pressure, and where you see a tremendous amount of them in concentric circles, that's where you've got a very strong area of low pressure. That's the first system that is coming through and affecting the Canadian Maritimes. Nova Scotia and Halifax on Friday, just grazing the New England coastline with a lot of wind and certainly a plunge of cold air. Now, the second system comes through, and where yesterday most of the models had most of the system offshore, this is this morning's run of the European model. We don't get it until the early afternoon. There's a long lag there. And what this run is showing is that the business end of this storm, the very worst part of the storm, with the heavy snow bands, the mesoscale banding features, and the wind could be right over New England on Sunday morning. Now, this is one model run, and one of the tenets of meteorology is that you don't hang your hat on one model run. What we want to look for is a trend in the modeling. If we continue to see this type of thing, that's when we really get concerned. But I just want to let you know that we're back to this idea of some heavy snow possibly coming into New England on Sunday, and with a lot of wind, maybe even blizzard conditions. And these are the ensemble members of the models here. When they change the initial conditions slightly and rerun the model to see if it comes out with a different solution, and it's generally agreeing with the idea that there could be a big storm. But that being said, the GFS model is not really there, and in fact I want to show you what we see in terms of snowfall. That's the European model showing heavier amounts of snow right along the coast there, whereas the GFS model is not really doing that. It's showing some heavier amounts in Maine, but for the most part more modest amounts of snow. So we've still got a lot to sort out here, and we definitely will stay on top of it. Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Carl. Well, you know, you've heard the phrase, when life hands you lemons, make a little lemonade. Well, what do you make with feet and feet of snow? How about a little money? Yeah, thanks to a company in Boston, you can actually buy a water bottle filled with some of the historic snow. But you got to be prepared to pay a pretty penny for it. The cost? Nearly $20. Yes, I did not stutter, $20. But the company ShipSnowYo says it'll send that snow to anyone in the U.S. Wow. I tell you, I've heard of some things that might top the cake right there. All right, well, we do have some good news in sight. We are close enough to spring that we can actually start the countdown. So how far away are we? Well, there we are. To spring, 36 days, 0 hours. Actually ringing in March 20th at 6:45 Eastern Time. So you can count down now. We're almost there. Kim?
Alex, I think they stole my idea. Remember yesterday I said they should actually, maybe the Sierra Nevada mountain range should buy some of that snowfall. So maybe they'll be the first customer, the folks that live up there. All right, guys, this is really cool. Check this out. There's a bit of a mystery, a weather mystery playing out right now. What in the world is this? This radar signature, by the way, came out of Morehead City, North Carolina this morning, and look at what? That is crazy. I had a lot of us talking this morning, email threads, about 20 people weighing in on this, wondering what in the world it is. And you know, you can see it starting out like a big blob, and then it kind of fans out and loses the signature. But very interesting feature, and You know, we know there's some military bases around there, so it'd be interesting to find out what everybody thinks about this.
Yeah, so let's bring in some of the big guns. Carl is back, and with him, severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes. Guys, got a few possibilities on what that was.
Yeah, you know, this is something that we see periodically. We've seen this in the Carolinas. We've seen it a lot in South Florida, and the fact that it happens near military installations is pretty telling.
It is, and this one I think is probably the most interesting of these that I've seen. I think there's some pretty clear signatures taking place here. It's a military exercise. Here's the very beginning, the very first time the radar's pretty close. It's right there. It's showing 2 blips on this. This was right about 9:45 this morning. So I think there's 2 aircraft that are beginning to release chaff. Those are sort of aluminum and silica or aluminum and fiberglass materials. Now I'm going to put this in motion, and you'll see what starts out as 2 little blips there. It turned then into motion. So this is the high resolution radar. Now some of the material that was released in here along that white line, I'm going to show you a slice through that, still is in the sky, and it falls out, as well as the winds are from the north, so it blows some of the chaff down. I don't know how long the aircraft are releasing it, but at the start, that chaff pocket's only about a mile wide, and the dispersive, the turbulent motions of the atmosphere, by this time it gets down to be about 10 miles wide. Now, I wanted to show you a slice through this. And this is to the south at the left and to the north at the right. So I think there are 2 aircraft. They're releasing right about at this point. The chaff trails behind them and then drops down to the ground. This is about 2,000 feet or so, the highest return. That's about the equivalent, Carl, of hail. So they're trying to hide from each other in terms of the Doppler scans.
So this is being used by the military to confuse the enemy, and obviously it does a very good job.
Keep from getting hit by missiles.
Yep. Back to the
Currently in our area, 65 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
At Intel, they have technology that lets your face be your password. Oh, that is one secure password.
Intel. This is where it all changes.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Introducing Aleve PM, the PM pain reliever that dares to work all the way until the AM. New Aleve PM. It's the first to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour strength of Aleve for pain relief that can last all the way until morning. New Aleve PM for a better AM.
Lowe's presents How to Make It Quiet by Being Loud.
Now get 10 to 25% off major appliances, $3.99 and more at Lowe's.
Boston Market introduces our 2 for $20 complete meal deal. For just $20, get 2 individual meals, like our all-natural rotisserie chicken, 2 classic sides, 2 drinks, and 2 desserts, all for a limited time, only at Boston Market.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any income or credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
They're simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
Welcome back, everyone. We are looking live across the western half of the United States. We've got Seattle, Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Phoenix. What do they have in common? Well, we know they're in the west, but what else? Well, how about a ridge of high pressure keeping it a little toasty here from the Rockies to the west coast? High temperatures will be 10 to 20 degrees above average into the weekend. Several record highs could be set.
That's the western half of the country.
That's right.
The eastern half, though, Kim, we're dealing with the chill. It's actually, as you mentioned, that ridge that's setting up there, this very, very amplified pattern that we are in. Look at the jet stream.
Wow.
Big bulge in the west, and there you are, 10 to 25 degrees above average, while in the east with our trough, 10 to 25 degrees below average.
So it's not really surprising that we have this scenario for us. Here in the west, of these record highs we've been talking about, we think there will be a few of them. Here in Vegas, our forecast is 78. The record 79 is going to be close. So back in 1957, we were at 79 degrees.
Seattle looks like you could break it, though, forecasting 62, the record of 59 degrees. So, again, the whole big picture is just knowing it's going to be very warm and well above average here. Here's the temperatures on Thursday. Salt Lake City nearing 60 degrees with L.A. in the mid-80s.
Oh, nice. I think Santa Ana today was in the 90s or something crazy like that. So very warm conditions. That offshore flow continuing to really warm us up. In Los Angeles, 86 on Friday. Vegas up to 78. Denver into the 60s still. And this continues on into the weekend, so no change for us.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to know where to go to beat the cold, it's here into the western half of the country. Vegas, one of those spots. Average high is about 62 degrees, well above that, all through the weekend into early next week.
And you can get sunburnt this time of the year, folks, so be careful out in that sun. All right, let's take a look now in the east where we've been dealing with the cold, and we're going to deal with more of it this weekend. Maybe some of the coldest air of the season. Talking about teens for highs for parts of New England.
Yeah, it's brutal out there, and it's not just going to be in the north. Parts of the south will get into some of this cold as well. By Sunday, look at all those blue shades starting to infiltrate Atlanta, not Hotlanta.
36 for the high. Wow. All right, Winter Storm Marcus dumped about 2 feet of snow on the city of Boston. Did you hear about that? Well, that in addition to several feet from Winter Storm Juno, Carrie, and Linus.
Now, all that snow gets dangerously heavy, and shoveling can become deadly. Jim Cantore hit the streets to take a closer look at the impact shoveling has on the human body, specifically your heart.
We're here with Boston EMS Chief Jim Hooley to talk a little bit about, what shoveling does and can do, certainly, to not just your heart, but also your back and your leg and your knees. What do you see in terms of an increase after a snowstorm at the EMS?
Well, after a snowstorm like this, we'll typically see an increase of about 10% of our calls. And it could be minor in nature. It could be back aches. It could be a little bit of discomfort. But it also could be chest pain, shortness of breath.
All right, well, I'm going to start shoveling here. We've already taken a base rate of about 84. And I'm going to just start to throw this up. I mean, Jim, this is what we were talking about earlier. It's not just throwing the snow in a little pile here.
No.
This stuff's crust and you got to heave it way up. So you're throwing your back into this.
Right, and that's just it. I mean, typically what we'd advise you to do is to try to go A, a little bit slower, and B,
I don't know, slow.
Right. But when you're trying to throw a distance like that, and when you're twisting your body, you're more likely to strain your lower back, as opposed to be able to grab small bites, walk down over here and deposit it somewhere where you don't have to twist and throw.
Well, I mean, I got to be honest with you. Just having to throw it way up here is harder than digging it and shoveling it out.
Oh, sure it is.
I mean, this is incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like I said, typically if you could walk down there and toss it over to the side, even though it would take you longer, it might save your back some than what you're doing.
If my
right
car
here.
was under here, this is probably a 2 to 3 hour job, given the kind of crust.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, I mean, this is all right. Let's see what my heart's doing.
Okay.
After all that, we'll get another test and see how we're doing.
Alex is going to.
Obviously, I feel safe about going at a quick rate because you guys are here.
Yeah.
And you can take me over if anything happened. But
right.
It's about 100 now.
We went for 84 to 100?
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
No, but like I said, so that's probably within your target range. That's within a safe range for you. But again, I'm assuming you're a healthy guy who doesn't
trying to be.
Underlying
But I'm eating
cardiac
too much
disease.
clam chowder.
Yeah.
So slow it down. Try not to throw your back out throwing the snow high.
Right, but if you
just realize
you
it's
don't
going
want
to
to
take you
do
a
this
lot longer.
stress test, if you already have some underlying heart disease, some other medical condition, don't even go out and challenge yourself in this.
Pay the kids.
Somebody, pay the kids,
Right.
get somebody else to do it.
Jimmy,
it's not worth it.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Wow, well, I tell you, while most of the shoveling is done in New England, well, we hate to say this, but you might need to do it again in the coming days.
And we're tracking a weekend storm that could have those snow piles growing once again. All the details when I join storm specialist Carl Parker in the lab for your complete winter weather update.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you might find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
Check it out, Mom.
When you're really only covered for this. Or how you figured you're covered for this when you're actually paying for this.
Danger. Warning.
You might be surprised at what's hiding in your coverage. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
Danger.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Hi, you've reached Emma. I'm out of the office right now, but we'll get back to you just as soon as I possibly can.
Join us for exclusive Discovery at Sea experiences. Princess Cruises, come back new.
Every Sunday night, we're taking our cameras to 14,000 feet.
This ain't a good place to make a mistake.
With these extreme fortune seekers.
Look how blue that is.
Gambling on the dig of their lives.
This is an absolute extreme situation.
If this is my last year on the mountain, be a fine way to go out.
Season 3, Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 65 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Busy week. Oh yeah. I got a pile of work, presentation tomorrow, daily workout, in-laws on Sunday.
Make time every day for Barocca. It supports mental sharpness and physical energy.
Started my Camry. Remembered the choices I've made. To be bold where others are scared. To show her right from wrong. And realized my little girl had become an amazing human being. Who will make choices of her own. Toyota. Let's go places.
Looks like 20 feet.
At Intel, they have this technology. You can take a picture and measure the distance before you jump.
Intel, this is where it all changes.
Imagine yourself exploring the mysteries of Machu Picchu, dining at the Eiffel Tower, or staying at the Fairmont Lake Louise in the Canadian Rockies. Across all 7 continents, Colette's guided tours take you places others only dream about.
I love Colette because they arrange everything for me. All I have to do is sit back and enjoy.
Marvel at iconic landmarks. Savor delicious meals. Come to know new cultures and make new friends. Along the way, enjoy immersive itineraries featuring experiences you can only find with Colette. Whether you're in the America West, discovering New Zealand, or walking on the Great Wall, you'll be traveling with one of our professional tour managers. All you have to do is embrace the adventure. To order your free brochure, call 855-714-8687.
Start saving at the Sears President's Day Mattress Spectacular. Get up to 60% off plus 10% off, plus an extra 5% off, or up to 60 months special financing and free delivery and assembly. Start your mattress search at Sears.
There's a fast way to a great night's sleep. Unisom Liquid. When you can't wind down, Unisom Liquid helps you fall asleep quickly. It's non-habit forming, and you wake refreshed. Unisom Liquid. A stressful day deserves a restful night.
Your visions of getting lost in the comfort of stressless seating can now more easily be brought to life at Style & Comfort. For a limited time, enjoy a free leather upgrade from fabric to leather, or from one grade of leather to a superior grade. You can envision the comfort and the tranquility of unwinding in a stressless. And now you can feel it at Style & Comfort in the Stewart Center between Rag Street and Home Goods.
Remember, Berries.com. Click the mic and enter code WEATHER or call 888-SWEET-90.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
We're at the end of our ropes. We've been working pretty straight through for now a good solid couple of weeks. So, you know, our crews are tired, our equipment's tired. We're still working, we're still doing the best we can, but certainly some additional help is very welcome at this point.
Feeling weather weary in New England. I mean, you can just hear the exhaustion in his voice. So is more snow and ice on the way? Well, let's head on out to the lab. Kim is with storm specialist Carl Parker.
All right, thanks, Alex. And, you know, we sound like a broken record here. It's like night after night we talk about the potential for more storms for the Northeast. But, you know, we're going to see one weak one come through the next day or two, and then maybe over the weekend might be the big one.
Right, that's really the concern now, especially with this latest run from the European model, which we have to talk about because this is a huge deal. If it happened, it would be an enormous problem for these people up in New England. And we're going to start with the pattern, and you've got this jet stream that's coming in across the Pacific, then this big block along the west coast of North America. So this is like a linebacker in here, and this is like a bunch of kids running at the linebacker. And they're not going anywhere except around him.
Right.
So they've got to go to the north or to the south, and we get this split flow, and very much like a jump rope, you pull up on one end and the other end goes down, and that's exactly what we're seeing in the east. You've got the big ridge here, and then you've got this big dip across the east, and it just never really goes away. This ridge has been so intractable, it's crazy. And you know what else is interesting, Kim? When you look at the sea surface temperatures out here, they're really, really warm. And so there's sort of a reinforcing mechanism going on there, just like drought begets drought, putting heat back into the atmosphere and helping that ridge to come back, to bounce back all the time. And when we look, this is actually something that's been around for a long, long time. We go back to November, and there's the anomalous wind right there, and we've had this really exaggerated pattern, which we're seeing more of in recent years, the ridge going all the way up there into northwestern Canada, and that very persistent trough, so unusually cold air coming down, locking horns with unusually warm sea surface temperatures and air above that.
Right.
So you've got this zone where things just want to go.
Right.
And so the question always is, where exactly is that going to happen? So there's a big low getting away from us. There's another big low getting away from us. Very strong for the Maritimes, but we're right on the edge of it, so we get the wind and not so much the snow. And yesterday, we were talking about this trend in the European model and the GFS model, taking the system more offshore and saying, let's hope that that holds. Well, the trend is not held in the European model, at least for one run. And you don't want to hang your hat on one run.
No.
On the other hand, this would be such a big deal for Boston that you have to talk about it because it's really important. You have to be ready for the possibility that you're going to get another big storm there. Right?
Maybe a blizzard.
If it happened just, I mean, look how intense that area of low pressure is as this model sees it. That would be a huge deal. That would be a tremendous amount of snow with wind, blizzard conditions, exceptionally cold air, so really life-threatening weather.
Crippling.
And then you've got all the snow on the ground to begin with, going into...
This is a nightmare.
It is a nightmare if it were to happen like this. So here's a look at the precip from the European model, well inland there with all that wind. This is the snowfall output from the European model. Very heavy snow along the coast, Boston and northward up into Portland and into Bangor.
But maybe a good snow for New York City with this, too.
Yeah, I mean, certainly could be snow for New York City. Exactly right. Now, the GFS model, and it's been pretty consistent about this, is not showing as strong of a storm, and it's taking it up pretty quickly here. So the GFS model is showing less snow, maybe heavier snow there in Maine in particular, but more of a moderate snowstorm with a lot of wind and a lot of cold there in New England.
Carl.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still, you know, either way, it's bad, right?
It's either way, it's bad. Either way, we don't want it.
Right.
But if we get, say, 8 inches of snow there in Boston and a lot of wind, I think we could deal with it.
Yeah.
If you got 2 feet of snow
that's true.
and a blizzard, I mean, that would really be, it would be crippling, I think. Emergency services wouldn't be able to get anywhere.
No.
You'd have all this weight on the roofs, just a lot of problems. So, right now, it's just a possibility. We're not saying that we think that's going to happen. It's just a possibility, but we do need to be thinking about what we would do if it did happen that way. And we'll watch for the trends. We'll see where the trends take us.
And I do think when we get more data in the disturbance that's supposed to be developing this, we get better information on that.
Yes.
I think we'll get better handle on the computers will get better handle on
exactly right.
Models anyway. Thanks so much. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Kim. Well, much more ahead here on Weather Center Live. A relentless cold at bringing temperatures up to 30 degrees below normal, and the cold dropping all the way down to Florida. We'll show you where the coldest weather will hit.
Currently in our area, 65 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, just when you think it's done, the flakes flew again in Massachusetts today, courtesy of ocean effect snow this time. The half-inch you picked up today now has you experiencing the second snowiest February on record, and it's not even halfway through the month right here in Boston. Well, it's like one step forward, one step back for the city. Thanks for joining us again tonight. I'm Kim Cunningham.
And I'm Alex Wallace. We're looking at more snow in the forecast for New England, and we'll have specific details on that in just a minute.
Well, the Boston area is finally getting back on its feet after back-to-back historic snowstorms today brought a big announcement. Let's get you caught up on what's happening right now.
Yeah, the snow from Winter Storm Marcus on top of what was left behind by Linus and Juno caused the roofs of several Massachusetts buildings to collapse, caving under the weight. Schools across the state reopened, and Boston's Mayor Marty Walsh says the city may have to consider classes on Saturdays if they cancel another day. I know the kids don't want to hear that. Now, so far, the city's unprecedented 6 feet of snow has canceled 8 school days. And after shutting down, Boston's public transit agency is back up and running. Though delayed, the big headline, though, of the day, the sudden resignation of MBTA General Manager Beverly Scott. Her agency came under fire for the service problems passengers experienced earlier this week. Thousands were stranded due to on-again and off-again service during Winter Storm Marcus on Monday night through Tuesday.
And our Paul Goodlow was in downtown Boston today, catching up with commuters who were impacted. Paul?
Well, Boston is still trying to come back to normal. I'm sitting outside of South Station where you have Amtrak, you have the subway, you have bus lines all coming in here. But because of all the snow on the track, the schedules are all reduced. Some trains canceled, some trains delayed. But overall, this hasn't been a huge inconvenience to people trying to get into town and get to work. I talked to Shannon Lane earlier, and she usually takes the train. Didn't happen this morning. How did you get to work today?
I actually drove because my train was canceled.
So how long was the drive?
Probably about an hour.
Are you sick and tired of all this snow?
I am. As much as it's pretty and it's nice to look at, it's definitely becoming a pain. And
have you ever seen this much snow before?
Not at once. I don't believe so.
People are definitely tired of winter and all this snow, but it wasn't just the buses and trains that were impacted. Logan, back up to almost a normal schedule. We also found another mode of transportation impacted by all this snow. A boat stuck in the snow. Again, they're trying to get that boat to a boat show nearby, but a lot of things being impacted by this record-setting winter so far of 2015 here in Boston. Reporting on the corner of Atlantic and Summer in downtown Boston, I'm meteorologist Paul Goodlow. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Paul. Let's talk about the potential for a little more snow coming up here later on in the week. Now, it's not going to be a big deal, but we're going to see a little bit of snow. We see it already on the radar here into parts of lower Michigan, all the way over towards, looks like New York State. We're looking at some light snow moving through, but it is light. That is the key word, light, right now. So in western New York, snow coming down Syracuse. It's getting there very soon, and we'll talk about how much in just a second. But there it is. That's the clipper coming through. Arctic air coming in behind this. Then that low moves up into the Maritimes. Then we're going to see another area of low pressure develop along the front. And this is typical. We get this little nor'easter to develop, and we see a coastal storm bring some snow into us, and from Boston to Portland to Hartford, but it should be on the light side, and we're going to be looking at maybe some gusty winds with it too. So for tonight, we're good to go. Maybe a little bit of ocean effect still here south of Boston, but western New York dealing with the snow tonight. Tomorrow, it does move in, and probably more so during later in the day in the Boston area into maybe the overnight hours. So even New York City might see some snow showers with this as well. This is not going to be a tremendous amount of snow, maybe up to a half inch or so around New York City, maybe 1 to 3 around the Boston area, and maybe higher amounts in Portland and western New York. We could see maybe 1 to 3 right there along the New York Thruway. So that might be an area to watch out for. Maybe some slippery roadways with this clipper coming through, and especially when the temperatures are going to be looking like this Thursday night. 11 degrees in Boston with snow showers continuing. Then we're back to sunshine on Friday. Don't be fooled by the sunshine now. I mean, it's going to be 13 degrees. Don't be fooled by 13 degrees. It's going to be feeling much colder than that because we have to factor in the wind chill, and it's going to feel way below zero with that wind. New York City, same idea. We get really cold Thursday night, 9 degrees. Friday, only 19 for the high. And boy, wait till you see Saturday morning's lows. Alex?
Oh, just brutal stuff. Well, that system there, Snowbaker, that's the first for the week. This weekend, another clipper could hit the Northeast, possibly bringing another foot of snow for Boston. For that, we want to head now to Carl Parker, who is in the lab. Carl?
Alex, what we know right now is that there's going to be a very strong storm that is offshore coming up and along the northeast coast on Sunday. What we don't know for sure is exactly what track that low will take and how close to the coast it will be. If it's just offshore, it may be that we get a lot of wind and cold and not a whole lot of snow. If it's closer to the coast, it may be that we get a very serious storm. And so we do have to discuss that possibility. We just got a model run in today, this afternoon, from the European indicator that that would be a possibility. And of course, because of what has happened in Boston in the last few weeks, that has really raised the stakes in this case. So we have to look at this from a perspective of risk management, and that's why we are discussing this one model run. Normally, we don't get too exercised about one particular model run, but because there's so much at stake here, we really do have to look at it. So here, first of all, is Friday, and there is that incredibly strong area of low pressure that will be offshore. On that point, the models are in general agreement. So we're talking about peripheral effects in New England, some snow, but not a tremendous amount of it. Certainly a lot of wind and a big plunge of cold. Then we see the second storm coming in, and this is the thing that had us all really concerned this afternoon when we saw this European model run come in, because what this is showing is the business end of this storm, the worst part of this storm, sitting right over New England, in which case there would be very heavy snow, there would be tremendous wind, blizzard conditions potentially, and exceptional cold. Really a life-threatening storm, especially considering how much snow is on the ground. When you think about what that might do and the extra weight it would put on the roofs and how difficult it would be for emergency services to get around with all the snow that's already out there. Now there's that European model with the precipitation on it. You see that it is well inland, and so what the European model is showing us is higher amounts of snow from Boston and on up there into eastern parts of Maine, even back into the central part of Massachusetts. But the GFS model is really not on board with this idea and has been fairly consistent about developing the storm farther to the east and as it's moving away. And now in this depiction, we do see that there would be some snow, which is certainly not welcome there in Boston, but not nearly the same amount of impact. What we would see most likely is just a lot of wind, more modest amounts of snow, and not the tremendous impact that the European is indicating. So it's going to be really important to follow these models in the next couple of days to see where the trends take us. Alex, back to you.
So right about that. I got to stay tuned. Well, the relentless cold, that will just not go away in the upper Midwest.
And we're talking negative temperatures in the Twin Cities tonight and highs in the single digits later this week. After your local on the 8th, we'll tell you how long the deep freeze will last.
You want to fix this mess?
A mess? I don't think...
What's that?
Snapshot from Progressive. Plug it in and you can save on car insurance based on your good driving.
You sell to me?
No, it's free. Want to try?
You try this if you try not this.
Okay.
Buddy, you're squashing me. Liquid wart remover could take weeks to treat.
Embarrassing wart? Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away wipes them out fast with as few as one treatment.
Freeze Away!
Dr. Scholl's, the #1 selling freeze brand.
How do Crest 3D white strips compare to a whitening toothpaste? Let's see.
The paste didn't seem to do much for me. The white strips made a huge difference. But that's not fair.
Crest white strips work below the enamel surface to whiten 25 times better than a leading whitening toothpaste. Crest white strips, the way to whiten.
Mr. Gray will see you now.
I'm used to getting my own way.
It must be really boring.
Rated R.
Currently in our area, 65 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, mainly sunny. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy. Low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7.
New Move Free Ultra brings a revolution to joint health. It's the smallest joint health pill, now with a new triple action formula for joint, cartilage, and bone health. Move on to new Move Free Ultra.
No pictures of trucks pulling boats. No photos of men working on ranches. Just a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel that gets 156 more miles per tank than the Ford F-150 EcoBoost. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com.
Please? No. Please? No. For those headaches that just aren't bad enough for a lot of medicine, there's new Excedrin Mild Headache. 35% less medicine, plus a booster to end everyday headaches fast.
Wow, my headache's gone.
Excedrin Mild Headache.
Well, the cold is not going away in the Twin Cities. The folks bundled up with highs in the teens today. The low overnight tonight, 3 below zero. And then tomorrow, the high reaching just 15 degrees. Slight warm up to 28 for Friday. But then on Saturday, 4 degrees. We're in the grips of winter, and this relentless cold is out there for us, and a lot of the eastern half of the country is going to have to deal with it here. Bitter cold. We're going to see 2 shots of cold air coming in here through the week and into the weekend. Now, right now, teens and 20s in the northern tier, 50s and some 60s in the southern tier. Hey, 51 in Jacksonville, 61 showing up in and around New Orleans. But by the time we get to this weekend, here's Sunday, there's that potential big snowmaker that we may have to deal with in New England. I know you don't want to hear about that, but there's also going to be some cold air associated with everything coming in behind it, plus wind. So temperatures that are cold plus very windy conditions mean it is going to feel just disgustingly cold. 28 degrees below zero. That's what it'll feel like there for you in Syracuse by Sunday. Low single digits below zero here up and down the 95 corridor, and even down in parts of the south. Get ready for it to the big chill. Jacksonville feeling like 31 degrees by the time we head into our Sunday. So let's talk about actual numbers. Here's the high temps on Friday. That's that sort of first shot of cold air. A lot of 40s for highs. Then a little warm up as we get to our Saturday. 64 showing up in Jackson. But then the cold air seeps right back in. 28 now for your high in Nashville. And you look at how things will fare in Atlanta. Those morning temperatures quite chilly as we head through the weekend. A lot of 20s showing up. Kim?
All right, Alex, say it ain't so. A piano once belonging to Liberace escaped certain death when the building it was housed in was severely damaged by this week's heavy snow. The rhinestone encrusted grand piano is estimated, by the way, to be worth $500,000. That's why this is awful. Several buildings in the Boston area experienced roof collapses after Winter Storm Marcus, and this could be very dangerous.
Loud, like a roar, almost like an avalanche. This is unbelievable. I can't believe that went down like that.
We thought this was a good, strong building, and just unclear that this would even be considered that would happen.
Just awful. This winter has been budget busting for sure. Boston alone has already spent more than $30 million on snow cleanup. The city had budgeted $10.5 million for the winter. But they're going to keep helping folks. And you should be helping yourself too out there, getting the snow off the roof as best as you can, because we could be seeing more snow coming in this weekend. The story over the next 7 days, the heat in the west, maybe a snowstorm for the Ohio Valley, and then again, a cold for the east, and more snow maybe on the way. And we'll see that tomorrow with a clipper coming through the northeast. Not a big deal with this one. Friday we get a break, but it's going to be very, very cold. Temperatures in the teens, as Alex talked about. There's the warmth in Dallas, 67 degrees. Look at the 80s in Los Angeles and Phoenix. Record high temperatures experienced here in the west. Even Seattle, 54 degrees, very nice. Minneapolis, 3 degrees. We haven't had much snow. Looks like this clipper will come through and really not affect you too much, but it will start to get maybe a little stronger as it gets to the East Coast again. And we may be looking at Saturday, Valentine's Day, the potential snowmaker for the Northeast and New England here Saturday into Sunday. So keep that in mind. Any plans this weekend heading up the Northeast? Maybe you're flying your loved one up there. We could see major problems at the airports if that model is correct, the computer model we look at. So Monday's forecast where it gets interesting now for the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. We start to see the big snowstorm setting up maybe for St. Louis, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Indianapolis. Indianapolis 11 inches behind for the year. the season. Cincinnati 7 inches behind for the season. So this could be our first big storm. Keep an eye on this one on Tuesday. Those of you waiting to make some money on either shoveling snow or plowing snow, you may see it this week. And then Wednesday, look at the Northeast again. Alex?
Just keep coming and coming. Well, much more ahead here on Weather Center Live as Boston continues to dig out from underneath all that snow. Fire departments from across the region are asking for your help digging up that snow around fire hydrants. We'll tell you how much you need to clear out next.
Who wants pizza rolls? This game day, fun harder with Totino's Pizza Rolls.
I'm outside. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm in the Buick. I don't see a Buick. Oh, got it.
Encore, the expectation-shattering crossover from Buick.
Wow.
Now during the Buick President's Day event, lease this 2015 Encore with these premium services for 24 months for around $199 per month.
Hi, you've reached Emma. I'm out of the office right now, but we'll get back to you just as soon as I possibly can. Your call is important to me.
Join Princess Cruises for exclusive Discovery at Sea experiences. Enjoy cruises from $4.99 during our 50th anniversary sale. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
You drop 40 grand on a new set of wheels, then wham, a minivan T-bones you. Guess what? Your insurance company will only give you $37,000 to replace it. Depreciation, they claim. How can my car depreciate before its first oil change, you ask? Maybe the better question is, why do you have that insurance company?
With Liberty Mutual New Car Replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Cold-Ease lozenges are clinically shown to shorten your cold. Cold-Ease zinc ions released in your mouth inhibit the cold virus from replicating. New Cold-Ease Quick Melts for cold and flu shorten your cold, plus provide natural multi-symptom relief for cough, chest congestion, and sore throat. I'm Ted Karkas, CEO of Cold-Ease. I guarantee Cold-Ease will shorten your cold or your money back. No questions asked.
Every Sunday night, we're taking our cameras to 14,000 feet.
This ain't a good place to make a mistake.
With these extreme fortune seekers.
Look how blue that is.
Gambling on the dig of their lives.
Get down now!
This is an absolute extreme situation.
If this is my last year on the mound, be a fine way to go out.
Season 3, Prospector.
What if you could grab the sun and pass its energy on to others to keep them moving forward? It's what we do at FPL. Our solar energy centers grab the sun, turn it into electricity, and we pass it on to you. It's just one of the ways we're changing Florida's energy today to help create a better tomorrow for all of us. At FPL, we're changing the current.
What would you say to someone watching right now who is thinking about calling American Addiction Centers?
Don't hesitate. Pick up the phone.
If you think somebody needs help, they likely do.
I would tell them you're safe. You're safe. Call them.
Call now and let this place, American Addiction Centers, help.
It's a place of comfort, a place that helps you detox, a place that cares.
This place changed my life.
Isn't it time you changed your life? Let American Addiction Centers help. Call now.
Freshest in Mention TV. Go online now.
Currently in our area, 64 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, mainly sunny. High 77. Winds west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 52. Winds west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, the city of Boston is still digging out tonight after Winter Storm Marcus dumped 2 feet of snow earlier this week, and now the state of New York is helping out the effort. And Governor Andrew Cuomo deploying more than 60 workers and 71 pieces of heavy equipment to Massachusetts. Other states that have offered help include Vermont, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Kudos to you guys. You know, the city of Boston is asking everyone to help dig out the thousands of fire hydrants that are buried under the snow. Now, these are pictures from local fire departments across the region as crews took to the streets today to clear the areas around the hydrants. The state also is sending about 500 Massachusetts National Guardsmen to help clear things out as well. But what exactly is cleared? Alex is in the lab to explain.
Yeah, you know, Kim, there are actually specific requirements to ensure emergency officials can actually access those hydrants. Very important, no doubt about it. Of course, just tons of snow that we've seen across portions of the Northeast as of late. That's piled up. Plus, of course, those snow plows, they've got a job to do is clear those roads. And when they do that, well, it ends up covering some of those hydrants. So what you need to do is actually clear the area around it. It's actually a 3-foot area on either side of the hydrant, which you need to sort of shovel around. Now, when you're shoveling all that snow, you don't want to just dump it back into the road. You actually want to end up piling it up on the sides. That's okay to do so, but not getting it back onto the roads where, of course, they need to be clear. You want to make sure there's an actual clear path to the hydrant so firefighters can actually access it here. So again, that's what you want to be doing, and one of the things you can do by doing that is avoid a fine. We're talking a $75 fine is potentially could impact you here if you don't clear that fire hydrant, and not to mention the fact that if firefighters needed to use that fire hydrant, God forbid, and you didn't have it cleared, can you imagine just being on your conscience knowing that you could have helped the situation? Kim?
That would be horrible. Thanks so much, Alex. And you know, kids in Boston, well, it's back to school today, but now the schools are trying to figure out how to make up all that missed time. 8 snow days so far. NECN's Jeff Saperstone has more.
It's back to school for kids in Boston.
Are you excited to get back to school?
Yeah.
Buses made their drop-offs at Blackstone Elementary in the South End, but students still had to navigate around lots of snow and slush. It was not easy getting here this morning.
It was kind of rough, and we missed our bus.
That bus was early, so Cheryl Barrows had to walk her grandson to school between the massive snowbanks and icy sidewalks.
Another day should have been called today to get the streets, the sidewalks cleared.
Already, Boston Public School kids have missed 2 days of school this week, 8 days so far this year. Because of that, Mayor Marty Walsh says school will be in session on Evacuation Day, March 17th, and Bunker Hill Day, June 17th. The city trying to remove huge snowbanks from street corners, but this South End parent says the side streets are still challenging.
But the sidewalks are still hit or miss. Depends on the property owner, I think.
I hope everything's all right, because I mean, these snowbanks over here, a little too high. Can't see no kids crossing the streets.
Parents say they were extra careful this morning. Meantime, some kids say they are just ready to get back to school.
It's kind of fun.